This is take 2 of episode number 63, being a netballer. I was talking about a physio who's recommended that I look at knees over toes guy. It's a guy that my husband recommended that I look at a while ago. So as usual, my husband was right and I didn't pay attention about it until someone else told me about it. Sorry, honey. So knees over toes guy talks about walking backwards, a lot of backwards walking and working on strengthening your legs, your feet, everything in order to be able to get more strength out of your knees. So I'm working on getting more flexion, I'm working on getting more extension out of my knees. Now this is a shout out to anyone who has ever asked me to fill in for a netball team for them recently. The answer is hell no. Just recently, Trisha, hey Trisha, she was filling in for a friend of mine playing netball, Danielle, and Trisha injured her knee. She is out of action for a little bit when it comes to netball. She's slowly working herself back into boxing, and she hurt herself playing netball. And then Danielle was playing against Trisha's team. Trisha wasn't playing because she was injured, and Danielle broke her thumb and broke her elbow playing netball. So boxing is a much safer sport when it comes to females playing a sport. Even though netball is the most popular female sport in Australia, I believe that boxing should be, because knees are really important parts of your body growing up and going into adulthood and then going into older part of your life. And if your knees are a little bit stuffed, Angie will know this, she's had both of her knees replaced. So she had knee replacement surgery due to basketball. So that can also be a sport that's got a lot of impact and can do a bit of damage on your knees. So shout out to Angie. Her knees are actually in pretty good condition. She has problems with flexion and extension on her right knee, the same sort of problems that I have on my left knee. And I just wanted to have a shout out to any females out there who have ever injured themselves playing netball, and also wanted to say a shout out to anyone who's ever thinking of asking me to fill in for your netball team. The answer is hell no. I will never fill in for a netball team ever again. And the reason for that is I absolutely loved netball. A good friend of mine, Gail, she's actually got her birthday coming up this weekend. Shout out to Gail. She used to play netball. We used to play netball together all the time. We played in social teams together. We played in representative teams together. We played a lot of netball together. We'd gotten to the stage where we knew where each other were going to run. We could pass the ball pretty much with our eyes closed. And so it was a lot of fun playing netball. I really enjoyed it. I knew as soon as I step on the court and step over that line that I had white line fever. I was a little bit rough. Wing defence was my favourite position. And I was very, very, very familiar with hearing whistle blowing and contact wing defence stand out. I used to have an issue with netball umpires. I used to think that they needed to be more observant and actually see what was going on a little bit more when I felt like I'd cleanly got a ball, yet I was standing out because the umpire thought that I had contacted. And then part of my representative netball came about by having to get my umpire's exam. So when you need to complete your umpire's exam, you also need to do a little bit of practical work. So I had to umpire netball for a little bit, and that changed my mind on what it was like to be an umpire and how I should treat an umpire. The way that I changed was that I started thinking that it's not the umpire's fault that they didn't see what was going on, and that I just need to stand out with a smile on my face and then have a crack at the next one. I also always thought that if I managed to get a touch on the ball, that I'd done my job, and if I happened to nearly take out the girl that I was playing against, she might think twice about going for the ball hard again next time. So even though I got a contact and I was standing out, I feel like I made some progress as far as stopping my opponent from getting the ball further into the game and doing not so much damage right then and there, but being able to pull my opponent out of the game by being right on them and having their teammates not feel overly confident with passing the ball to them because I was right on their tail and I was rough, I was aggressive, I was going to have a crack at it. So a lot of the time, teammates of my opponent would end up not throwing the ball to them because they were worried that there's a chance that I might get it, or there was a chance that I might hurt them. So I've been a little bit more controlled since I started umpiring, and I umpired for a little bit. Wasn't really something that I did a lot of. Ask my husband, he was a netball umpire at a very high level, level 1, level A, netball umpire and very good at it as far as I've heard. So yeah, this is a shout out to all people who have ever played, umpired, or enjoyed watching netball. It's a great sport, but it is terrible for the knees. And I recommend that anyone that is getting into netball, change your mind. Get into boxing instead. Let's make boxing number one female sport in Australia. All right, guys, have a great day. I'm off to boxing class. It's a 6 a.m. class. I hope to see a bunch of you there. Have a great day.